walk me through your situation, because this is where I think we differ. Is I don't necessarily like. I try not to look too much at the players. I've got a bit of a theory that I'll get into um, after we hear from you, but I don't know if like I believe that I don't know. I feel like the less I know about the players, the more I can be surprised by them or be uh, reactive to the situation that they put me in as a DM. But again, so walk me through your process of planning for a specific party.
All right. Well, for example, um, let's do a nice, well-rounded party here. Let's say that we have, and I won't go into subclasses,
Sure, sure.
because that can vary widely. But let's say we
We'd be
have
here
a
all day.
paladin. Yeah, there's a lot of really good
There's
combinations out there too.
some
So
good stuff.
let's say we have a paladin, we have a wizard, we have a druid, and we have actually, let's say cleric. So paladin, wizard, cleric, ranger.
Okay.
Okay, well-rounded party. Okay, let's say that the ranger is specifically archery based. So we have a ranged, we have kind of a support, either a DPS or utility wizard, and a frontline fighter
Tank. Yeah.
slash tank.
Cool.
So in my eyes, this is a very well-rounded party, and it's very hard, especially with the paladin, for saving throws. We got two spellcasters who probably have good mental stats, and we have a good tracker. Um, it's very hard to kind of find a weakness in this party. Um, and so for that in my eyes takes the challenge rating of the monster up a level. I now need to look outside the box and really push to challenge this party, because if you can remove one of those pieces, one of those pillars, those four players essentially, not killing them, but say that you can split the party somehow, they now have a weakness, they now have a hole. And so something in combat, these are probably very good um, at spotting enemies early because of the ranger, at holding them off because of the two spellcasters along with the paladin, who's partial. Well, they're all kind of partial spellcasters in some sense too. So, see, if we're getting into stuff now, they're all
Sure, sure.
spellcasters. Like that really changes the game,
Yeah.
because spellcasting is so powerful in
Oh,
D&D
it's
that
incredible.
mere mortal animals are probably not going to be all that much of a challenge throughout this entire encounter. And so I would really want, just thinking about maybe the monastery, for example. Okay. Considering this party, we have a lot of spellcasters, we have a lot of high good stats, good saving throws because of the paladin, as long as they're sticking together. So with these, if this decides to be some sort of combat encounter at the monastery, if the players decide to take it that route, I definitely want to make it somehow to where I can separate the paladin from the rest of them, because that will allow me to get rid of that aura of protection that he's bringing to the table. It's going to force the cleric to decide which set of people he's going to hang out with to keep alive,
Okay.
and that can now it now gives me an option. And so this is a little bit more strategy than picking monsters, but I definitely want to give them maybe something that doesn't exactly target mental stats as much, because the only person in this party with really good AC is probably going to be the paladin, maybe the cleric with
Mm.
some of the spells and
Yeah.
capabilities that they have. But the AC is really low for this party comparatively. And so I probably want to go with stuff with bigger attacks
Mm.
than mental magic abilities, because they're going to be a mental cage of just fortitude, man. They're
Sure.
going to be really hard to penetrate that way. And so maybe the psychic protection is, normally a scare tactic, but ends up being kind of a laughing stock for the players. And so, but they get up there and find out that, the monks are actually, these big beefy dudes that,
Yeah. They
that,
all they
you know,
all just all they eat is whey protein and work out
and
and
eggs.
worship
They're
these things.
Gastons of
They
the,
just drink raw eggs. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I like it. Yeah,
So
that's a good point. Maybe they're not
I would
just.
change, I would change that up a little bit. Originally I was thinking of them being kind of like Psy warriors and being
Sure.
very mentalist, um,
Yeah, they'll
but
beat
if
you up
that's
with
the
your mind.
party, yeah. And just to give the players a little bit of a challenge, I'm not doing this so that as a DM I now have, you know, a challenge that's going to kill the party. That's not
Sure.
the reason I'd be doing it. I want this, like you said, the final encounter to be somewhat of a challenge. It's very disappointing as a DM when you create something that you thought was going to be a challenge and the players just walk all over it and make it
Yeah.
seem like it wasn't even a boss fight. It's kind of unsatisfying. At least for the DM, it might be a little bit for the players too. Kind of like, wait, that was the boss fight?
Yeah.
Like
I've had a couple of those. Yeah.
it leaves you
So
both kind of wanting more.